All right, everyone. Thanks for joining me for another Spin That Shit podcast. Great guest today. Allie Jean's with us. She's been playing music a long time. She got several projects going on. She's playing some live music. So she's very busy. So we're going to talk to her, kind of get her story, where she came from, and what she's been up to. First, I do want to say thanks to everyone that's liked, subscribed, shared, all that good stuff. That really helps out a lot. We're just building this thing. We're slowly climbing and spreading awareness of what real good music is as far as country goes. I think that's what's lacking on the radio. So I hope this show helps within that department at some point. So we got our big event coming up in October. We're still a long ways out, but still got to plan ahead, get those tickets, set up whatever travel plans you need. Come near and far. We're just gonna have a good time. We got 5 acts. Allie's one of them, so we're gonna talk about the event a little bit with her. And gotta say thanks to the sponsors of that show, Hot Boys Hot Chicken. And then we got Guitar Works out of Greenwood. They're helping us throw it. And Naylor's Brewery Company. They're in Whiteland, Indiana. Good brew, good food. Suggest it if you're in central Indiana. Go check them out. Then you have Mulherron Craft. They have a website, mulherroncraft.com. You go through there and look at what Lindsay's been up to. He woodwork. He's building me a custom banjo. So check out his website. He's got some cool pictures of what he can do and what's available for people, if they're looking to get an instrument made. So he's the man to talk to. I think that covers everything. I'm done rambling. Let's go talk to Allie. All right. Well, I appreciate you being on the show.
I think it's really cool what you're doing.
Yeah, I don't know, just kind of went with it during the pandemic. Things kind of got boring, more or less, because nobody was going anywhere or doing anything. So just started reaching out to people. And next thing you know, almost approaching 50 interviews now. So
Dang, that's so cool.
I know. So I would just love for you to kind of share your story, your background in music, and kind of your current projects and what you're playing and that sort of thing. Take us down the rabbit
Okay.
hole.
Well, folks might know me from the Whipstitch Sallies. I think you kind of know me from that first.
Yes.
That project was active from 2010 to mid 2016. And we were actually scheduled for a reunion show at the John Hartford Memorial Festival. Did you know that?
Actually, I did see that.
It was supposed to be for, 2020. So of course that didn't
Right.
happen. But anyway, so that was my like foray into being a musician out in the world for people to see in folk music. Although, little known fact, before that, I was in a band in high school, playing guitar and keyboard and singing background vocals in a like Christian rock band, if you will.
Okay.
So, I don't know. You can cut that if you want. But no, I mean, it was like foundational, really, just like
Yeah.
learning songs, making stuff up, like figuring it out. Like, I
Who
didn't
didn't want to
grow up
be
with
in a band
parents
in
that
high school?
played music. I didn't find out till after I started playing banjo that my mom actually took banjo lessons. Like, she hid that fact from me.
Really?
Yeah.
All
Like,
these years. You're like, Mom, what is going on?
I know. Like, I grew up, with all these random folk instruments in the living room for me to peruse. I mean, including a pump organ. At one point, there was a pump organ. I don't know why. No one played it. There was a piano, auto harp, classical guitar, and somehow she just didn't bring the banjo out. I don't know. But anyway, so I got started playing guitar really to be a church camp counselor. That was like the driving force because I'd seen, growing up going to camp and seeing that all the coolest counselors play the guitar, you know. And it just sort of spiraled from there. I mean, for me, playing music was something I wanted to do because I saw other people doing it. Not so much because of what I was listening to or
Yeah.
what I was exposed to, like on recordings. It was more like seeing people in real life play. So,
Yeah. You saw them having fun with it and you're like, hey, I want to do that. That looks fun.
yeah, totally.
That's cool.
Fun, like it's social, but you can also do it by yourself. Like it can help people. There's a lot of reasons, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm kind of all over the place, but the Whip Stitch Sallies had a planned demise. Um, the band, we all had like different interests, and we were young. We were like in our late 20s, and everybody was sort of like, let's explore other things. And I was the one that was like, no, band, don't die. But then it ended up that I was the one that like moved away to keep playing music. So I got roped into going to North Carolina and playing old time music for the last 5 or 6 years, and some bluegrass too, and really like grew as a musician in that time, and did a lot more listening than I had ever in my life to source recordings. And so it was really like an education. Like I didn't go to school for music. I went
Right.
to be an English teacher.
That
But
area of the country is so rich and as far as music goes, and especially the folk. And I don't
totally, I
know.
was
When,
down
when you
in
went there, I was kind of jealous. I was like, man, I want to go down there. You were doing like little banjo schools and folk schools and stuff, and I was like, man, I gotta get down there.
I remember you writing and you're like, I should come visit. I'm like, yes, everyone should come visit. Like, it's amazing
Yeah.
down here. It was an 8-hour drive from where I was living in Indiana. So, we would kind of joke
One
like
day.
it's a day's work just to get down there. Um, I was in Western North Carolina, west of Asheville. So a lot of folks migrate or travel to Asheville for the music.
So you were
Um,
saying you didn't go to Asheville because of something. Then I lost you.
Oh, well, so I lived halfway between Asheville and Brasstown, North Carolina, which is where your banjo's getting made.
Yes.
And it's also incidentally where I studied banjo for the first time. So I was, it was fun to live kind of halfway between because I'd end up going to the folk school sometimes or over to Asheville sometimes. Knoxville on occasion, did a few things up there, and Georgia wasn't far. So it was kind of everything was hard to get to, but also easy to get to. Like everything's so snaky down there. You always have to go around a mountain or something to get anywhere you
Right.
want to go.
It's
But
not a square grid like around here in the cornfield.
I never knew which way was north, south, east, west. but but yeah, so I did that, and since about early December, I've been back in Indiana, kind of feeling out what I'm doing next. And mostly, I'm a mom. This is my kiddo back here. He's in bed, but he's gonna be 2 in August, so he's still little guy.
Time
Um,
flies.
yeah. So I'm mostly doing that, and since he loves music, it's the most natural thing for me to do is like make a kids record. It's like I've always wanted to, so now's the time.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Now that I'm not doing what I was doing before, it's time to do something new, and what I'm doing is making a children's record. So it's songs that my son and I have been playing and listening to and singing together. He's almost 2, so that's a long time of singing together, or me singing at him. But so
Now, is he going to be
I was
on the
saying
record?
that I was planning to do this on the cheap and just record at home. I have a setup. It's not great, but it's something.
Yeah.
But then I got connected to Rafi's publicist.
Who?
Rafi, he he's like the biggest name in folky kids music. He was all like Baby Beluga. Anyways,
That's awesome.
so I'm like, okay, if she's gonna help me out, like I need to level up my game. So we're recording at a nice studio in Bloomington, and but I'm really excited about my special guests. I've got Raina Gellert, gonna play some fiddle. Raina is known as the fiddler for Uncle Earl, all
Mm-hmm.
an all women string band. Um, Also Jim Pankey, who's got an incredible YouTube following for bluegrass banjo instruction, and my basically musical big brother Lucas Simpson is going to play some mandolin. He's the person that got me into playing all this folk music. It's his fault. So I'm like really happy that he's going to collaborate on this with me. And then my friend Erin May, she lives out in Kansas and she's an amazing lap dulcimer player. So they're going to back me up and I'm going to play guitar and banjo and harmonica, ukulele, mandolin, sing, maybe do some flat footing. And of course, then we'll add Daniel doing whatever Daniel wants to do on top of everything. So,
Yeah.
um,
I was like, where's he coming in at?
yeah, he's gonna go to the studio with me too one of these days, and his thing right now is he likes to play the piano. So hopefully I'll get him playing the
Really?
piano.
That's great. Yeah, what a great idea and great project. I mean, you'll probably cherish this piece of work for the rest of your life, you know?
A long time ago, I remember reading an interview with some musician, and they were talking about the word record and how when you make a record, that's why it's called a record, is because it's a record of what you were working on at the time, or, the music that was important to you at that time. And like, I'd never thought of it that way. So I think that's kind of where I'm going with this is like, this is a record of our time together,
Yeah.
and it's a little bit embellished, right? Because like, it's usually just Daniel and I hanging out at the house, and I'm playing one instrument or I'm playing no instruments. I'm just singing at him. But in this make believe world of being a recording engineer, I can like
Right.
overdub myself and add my friends and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah,
You
I'm
could do
pumped.
something cool. You know how like at the end of a album they have like the hidden track. Just you two, you and Daniel just doing your thing and have it
Totally.
just like a simple one mic condenser setup.
That's
That'd be
that's a great idea. Or I was even thinking like little interludes between some of the tracks, like just have him doing whatever, because I mean he's like low key famous. He's actually more famous than me. So I mean I have to appease his adoring fans.
he's going viral.
Yeah, he went mega viral in October. So he has a 9-second drumming solo video. He was at an old time music festival with me, and I plopped him on the stage and gave him his drum, and he was just going to town. And I turned my phone on and was capturing, and then the song ended, and he turned around like, "Where'd the music go?" And the look on his face was like pure, you know, disgust that they would leave him hanging. So that's
That's
it.
great.
It broke the internet. So what are you gonna do?
And so when is there a timeline or is there just going with the flow? There's
I
no projected
you
date.
know
Oh,
I am doing the editing myself and basically producing it myself. So it's just when I can make time to do my edits, and then right now I've just finished kind of doing a rough mix of the bass, guitar, and banjo, which I played, and my voice, and then I'm putting that in folders for all my guest musicians, and then they'll do their thing and send it back. And so we're making progress, but I don't have a release date yet.
okay.
Um,
That's cool. That's so
yeah,
exciting.
it's called Sing and Play All Day, and what I'm super also excited about is that I'm also making instructional videos for several different instruments so that kiddos or their parents or their grandparents can have fun playing along too. Because the whole album, Justin, is going to
Oh,
be in
to
the
the
key
album.
of C. The whole album, key of C, 3 chords.
Okay.
So
Gotta
be
keep it
like
simple.
super easy fun to play along with.
Yeah. Now, you've been teaching a long time. I tell everyone you
Yeah.
pretty much taught me claw hammer. I was doing
Oh,
kind of a
really? Was I your first teacher?
finger. Well, I was doing three finger before
Oh, that's right.
stroke style with the guy. Well, two different guys that I bounced back and forth with. But it was never my calling. I couldn't find someone that did claw hammer. Then I ran into you, I think, at church.
Yeah,
brother-in-law's church. I went in there and you were
that's
there. I was
right.
like, she's the girl I need to talk to.
You were like, wait, I know you from that band.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
I've
Totally.
seen you
Well,
live a couple times in
yeah,
various places and busking outside of I remember seeing you busk out in front of Don Fleming's or the Carolina Chocolate Drops in front of the Vogue.
that's right. The girls and I went up to No, where was that? The Vogue. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
the Carolina Chocolate Drops, gosh, this is going way back to like 2013 probably. The Chocolate Drops were in town, and we heard about that and we're like, oh, we got to go entertain the people in line.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
you're not the only one that remembers that. I've had other people tell me they remembered us from that, which is kind of cool.
That is cool.
We did that. We also busked up at Purdue somewhere in Lafayette before a Pokey Lafarge show. So
Yeah.
I don't
I've
know.
seen
We were
Pokey
just yeah,
once.
we were just trying to like get in front of the people we thought were our people, you know. So
Right. Just to be heard.
yeah, but that's
So
cool.
what
So are you? I mean, this is off topic maybe, but are you still playing your banjo?
well, here's the thing, like you said, one's getting built for
Oh
me
yeah.
by Lindsay down there. And which is awesome, a custom banjo. It's lasts me my entire life. But those aren't cheap. So in the meantime, to help cover the costs, I actually had to sell my other banjo. I know. It's like it wasn't one that I wanted to begin with. It was just kind of like my starter anyway, which was a great gold tone, open back, did fine. I still have a three finger uh, resonator banjo back there that I don't play it. So I'm getting
Well, you
back in
know,
the saddle
they're
though.
just
I can't.
machines, so you can just pull that resonator off and then it's an open back.
That's right. Man, don't
But
tempt me now. I'll be tearing stuff up. Yeah, I'm definitely getting back in the saddle. I've been itching bad ever since I shouldn't have got rid of it until it was closer to time. I didn't realize how long. I knew it was going to take a while, but I didn't realize how long. You know.
oh yeah,
So, but
it'll be a hot minute. That's it was so random when you told me that you were getting a banjo from Lindsay. So Lindsay lives down there in Brasstown, and that is where I literally went and I studied banjo for a week. I was a school teacher. I think I told you.
yeah,
Um, and I was already in the Whip Stitch Sallies. I was curious about the banjo. My big brother Lucas, that I saw him playing forever ago, and that's what made me want to start playing music. He had gotten into clawhammer and showed me a few things enough to where I was like, I must learn this. And so I ended up down at Brasstown. They have a folk school there. It's called the John C. Campbell Folk School, and it lined up with my spring break that year.
perfect.
And so for me to go and learn intermediate clawhammer banjo is the class I took. Um, Changed my life. It was amazing.
Was it a week long class or
Yeah, it was. It was a whole
okay?
week. Well, you
And
mean
that
you
could
show
be
up on
almost
like Sunday?
information overload.
It was. It was very intense. I was in a smallish class. There were maybe five other people. I was like the youngest person in the class. And my instructor was an ethnomusicologist named David Brose, who has actually since passed away, which is super really sad. Um, but he was just always like dressed to the nines. He had his little cufflinks, he had his little polished shoes, he had his little bow tie and his little vest. Like he was like quintessential, you know. I had all these instruments, collector of stories. I just love meeting people like that, you know. But
Yeah,
yep, that's how I started on the banjo. He helped me get this gold tone actually. He had the hookup with the president of Gold Tone, and I got that one half off.
nice.
But I've had it ever since.
The Yeah, I've been on there probably a month ago, and I was looking at classes. I was like, man, if I could work out something when I go down there to pick up my banjo from Lindsay, I was like, I should stay the weekend and maybe take a weekend class or something.
You
It
should. They
works
have
out.
flat footing workshops and classes. They have,
I
you know,
definitely want to do that.
banjo, like freaking blacksmith thing. They have like everything. It's so cool.
Anything Appalachia, old timey, they have it.
Yep. Basket weaving, yarn dyeing. Yeah.
Jeez, I just live there.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's like you're in another planet compared to
Yeah.
here, you know. But
Okay, so you're working on the album and you're teaching folks. What do you instruct? What instruments? I know you do harmonica,
Um,
banjo.
banjo. Right now I've got a 10-year-old student who's just started learning some banjo. I'm very pleased with his progress already. Um, and that's about my only like one-on-one student right now. I've got a harmonica course online that's intended for just the person who plays no music at all and is maybe, likes music, loves to listen to music, likes to be around music,
Yeah,
but is like maybe intimidated or burned or has had a bad experience trying to learn guitar or trumpet or whatever. And so, which is a lot of people, it turns out. So the harmonica is the most portable, the most accessible, it's value friendly, and I mean, all you have to do is breathe in and out. You just have to learn how to do that. So um, that's kind of my other teaching thing is online harmonica course. And when my sing and play all day courses get launched, that will include ukulele is going to be launched first, and then another harmonica one, but it's a whole different like arrangement and presentation. It's a lot more fun because I'll tell you about it. But we'll also teach guitar, mandolin, and banjo, of course. But
and somehow you have time to be a mom.
well, yeah, I I do. I I have an amazing mom myself, and she's helped watch Daniel quite a bit here the last few
Yeah.
months while I'm creating. But one, I'm sorry to go on and on about this, but I'm super excited about my course videos because instead of just me yammering at the camera, it is me playing the part of the slightly obtuse teacher, which I am. And then my best friend Kat, who you'll remember from the Whip Stitch Sallies, was the bassist, who's
Yep.
hilarious. So she's portraying all these different students who are learning all the different instruments. So it's kind of like a mini series that you can watch while you're learning your instrument. So
Now, is this all on like Patreon, or how can
I
people get
do
these?
have a Patreon for this project, and I am sharing things there, but these aren't ready to be released yet. Um, my $10 tier folks are going to get access to these things as soon as they're available, but what they'll mostly be is like I have an online course platform, and so people can like cherry pick and buy like which course they will want, you know.
Okay.
So, and I'll probably release a few lessons for free on YouTube just to get traction. But
Right.
yeah, that's the vision. Because, yeah, I'm a mom. My kiddo has a disability. So I'm a single mom. So it's like, okay, I love teaching one on one, but like the most bang for my buck is going to be if I can create great content that then I can share with a lot of people.
Yeah. Reach the
So,
audience. Now,
yep.
what's Daniel's actual disability called?
Yeah, he has a rare genetic syndrome. It's called Pert, capital APERT, and I had never heard of it either. And it's in the category of craniofacial syndromes. That's a family of conditions, kind of like cleft palate is one of them.
Okay.
And some of them are genetic, and some of them are just kind of flukes. But his is not only a craniofacial, meaning his head and his face condition, but it affects his limbs and his muscles and the skeleton also. So he's got limb difference called syndactyly, starts with an S, has three Y's, syndactyly. That's fusion of the fingers and toes. So his little hands look like little mittens. Like this.
So he's already ready for that strumming motion. Claw
100% Justin.
hammer.
His hand,
He's ready.
literally, everything about his hand is built for claw hammer strum.
He's
It's
gonna end up one of
incredible.
them prodigies, you know. You always hear, things like that where like something. Well, it's normally one of the senses, I guess. Like say someone like Doc Watson,
Right,
blind, birth.
right.
The dude can just. I was watching him nail a hammer into a block of wood without, obviously you can't see, and he's precision. He can do all these other things like awesome. So it's like maybe something like that will happen. It's like, well, he can't do it individually, but he can do this, this, and this. So it's
It's
like,
got
man,
it's gonna have power. Well, I was telling you how he's playing the piano now. Here's what he's doing. He's learned that he can hit the black keys individually Whereas the white keys, it's harder for him to play them one at a time because of the way his fingers are. But he can easily play the black keys because they stand out from each other, right?
Right,
So
right.
he's
Yeah.
basically taught himself the pentatonic scale because he just plays the black keys
That's
very
great.
intentionally. It's insane.
I have to see. I haven't seen him yet in person. I've only seen
I
him.
know. We'll have to change that. I'll have to come see him, or we'll bring
Yeah.
him up, one or the other. But
Um, so you got some shows coming up too. I noticed.
yeah, right now we're recording this in late May, and I'm doing a house concert in Indy on Saturday, and it's really great, kind of a full circle moment because not only did the Whip Stitch Sallies play this house concert series, but before that, I saw my big brother, musical big brother Luke, play there with his band. It was one of the first house concerts I ever even went to. So I'm really excited for that. That's called Redbud Treehouse. No, Redbud House Concert Series. Um, and so Miss Cindy's going to have me over there. I'm also playing in Greenwood, Justin, at Greenwood Pride, of all things, on June 4th. It's going to be on the kids' stage, but
What
everybody's
what day is
welcome,
that?
1 o'clock. And it'll be my first Pride event. I've never been to a Pride event. I'm super pumped. It's going to be awesome. Going to meet a lot of fun people. And
What
then
day
what
is
else am I
that?
doing?
The
Oh, that's
fourth?
June 4th,
Is that a Saturday or Sunday or
Saturday. It's
what
free. It's
time?
over there by Greenwood High School.
What time is that?
I'm playing at 1.
Oh, I knew it. I thought I saw you post that. I work till 3,
Ah,
but I
shoot.
did see that you made another post about a brewery somewhere.
Yes, I
June
forgot.
1st.
Yes, so they asked me to help them. They're releasing a beer at Mashcraft Brewing in Greenwood. It's like a Greenwood Pride beer.
Okay.
So they're having live music. So they asked me. So I'm like, yay. So I'll be getting to do more of my like grown up music. Um,
Oh, okay.
and then I'll do more of the kids stuff on Saturday. So yeah, that'll be Wednesday the 1st at I think 7.
Right. Okay. I'll make that one. I can make it to that one.
Cool. I'm
So
pumped. It's just weird to be a solo artist. That was never my intention. But I've done it a couple times now. I've had a few little solo shows, and it is very empowering, and it's fun. It's
it's
just
different for
it's
sure.
just different. Yeah.
Um,
So
hopefully by the time you play my event there, the Spin That Shit event, I'll have some flat footing down so I can come up front and dance to some of your songs. But
nice, nice.
I knew I'll
Hey, you know
practice,
what?
that's for sure.
It really doesn't matter
No, I
how
know.
well you do anything as far as that kind of environment. You just flail around and make your feet do stuff, and
I
it'll
do
be
that
great.
all the time
But
when I walk.
yeah, you just practice
Trip
by
over myself.
feeling the beat like this. Um,
The last house I was in, we had wood floors, and I remember putting on a couple times, like just being bored, and I'd get up and try and do it with some socks on the slick floor. I was like, man, I was getting somewhere, but then I don't know. So I got too many damn hobbies. I can't keep my mind focused on the right ones all the time.
well, I hear that. That's why I play too many instruments and I don't play any of them extra super well because I just get distracted. I'm like, oh, I should learn this one. Oh, I should learn this one. And I just kind of keep, you know.
Yeah,
The reason I
I
started
love.
flat footing was because number one, I always thought it was cool. And number two, I was trying to get my steps in the winter and it was cold and I didn't want to go outside. And meanwhile, I had this nice wood stove I could just stand by. So at first I was just like walking by the wood stove, scrolling my phone, and then I was like, whatever, like let's learn a skill. Like I'm going to learn dancing.
All right,
So
yeah,
that's what
great
started it.
exercise, and then you become part of the music. That's what's cool about it.
Yeah. It's a whole world of like people who specialize in percussive dancing, specifically Appalachian flat footing and clogging. Like it's a whole niche. It's amazing the people that I've gotten to meet playing this kind of music and just like exploring it.
Right.
So,
So, who are some of your favorites? Who do you like listening to? I know you just heard music kind of growing up, but like now that you're in tune, I'm sure you've studied a lot of different people. Who do you like to, hit on the radio or?
I asked Alexa to play the Camp Creek Boys for me the other day, and she like didn't know what to do with herself. She's like, "Who's that?" Uh, so so yeah, they're some of my favorites. They don't have a whole lot of recordings, but each of them individually have more. That's a kind of a super group of round peak old time music, featuring Tommy Jarrell, whose fiddling I hated the first time I heard it, and now it's like, okay, he's the shit. Like
Yeah,
and it just shows like your tastes change the more you
right.
listen. But
When you first put it on, it's like that's kind of scratchy. But then it's like, okay, once it gets going, and yeah,
there's so much in there. And then especially after I started studying fiddling, I'm like, oh my gosh, like how does he do that? So I love to listen to them. Who else was I just listening to? So there's this fellow named Harold Hausenfluck. I know
I
that's a
don't know
crazy
that
name.
one.
Yeah, he's he's pretty obscure. He's still alive. Last I heard, he lives in a nursing home in Virginia. But he studied the Roan Mountain Hilltoppers out of Tennessee, the birch fields, and he like lived with them for a couple weeks and was really studying Joe's fiddling. And so he's a specialist at that, but he's also from Southwest Virginia, so he when you grow up and live there, like folks have a very specific regional style. So he's really into that, and he does some West Virginia stuff. Anyway, so he's just like so good. So I've been listening to him. And we were talking about how disabilities can actually help you with other stuff. He's a blind guy, actually, also.
Yeah,
But then, I also have enjoyed, who else? Morgan Sexton is an incredible two-finger banjo player out of Kentucky. I don't play two-finger banjo, but his style is so haunting and like just a mood.
yeah. Now is his son Lee, or is it the other way
That
around?
sounds familiar.
Lee Sexton, Kentucky
Rings a bell.
banjo picker.
Yeah.
I
I'm
think it's his
not
son.
100% sure. But let's see. Going over into bluegrass world, of course, Flatt and Scruggs and the Stanley Brothers. Can't overlook those guys. And going over into more the blues and spirituals world, Blind Willie Johnson was another acquired taste that once I listened to him, I like was converted.
I love him. I love like Delta blues in general. I wanted to play slide guitar and for for a while too, but I was like, banjo has less strings. I better stay in this. I
uh,
was
well,
like,
I wouldn't be surprised if that becomes one of my next things I work on is, you know, but
yeah,
I got some very good advice when I moved to North Carolina, which was if you start playing fiddle now, then in 5 years, you'll have been playing the fiddle for 5 years. And it sounds really dumb and basic, but like at the time I was like, oh, like, because when you say you've been doing something for 5 years, it kind of feels like something, you know?
yeah,
And it's true. Now here I am. It's been 5 or 6 years now, and I'm just like, yeah, I've been playing the fiddle that long. I can make kindergartners mosh. They were jumping up and down. I was playing short and bread. It was amazing.
that's great. Yeah, I can't do it that way because I would stop and go and put it away and then bring it back out for a little while. So mine needs to be more measured in like hours spent. Because if I told you played banjo for 10 years, it wouldn't show. You would not be able to say that. But no. So it's definitely I'm going to have a stop and go timer when I pick it up every time now.
Got to get
Yeah.
your 10,000 hours, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
I'll impress you one day. Don't worry.
Well, I don't know. I guess going back to, I was telling you how, a lot of people get into playing music because of recordings that they've heard. And that's a little bit true for me, but mostly it was just about watching other people in real life play or the opportunity to play with other people. If I got good enough or if I learned this and that, then I could play with this and that person. And So I guess, yeah, the social motivation has been a lot for me, and that's carried over because then going to North Carolina, I got to play with or even just learn from or be in the presence of these people that are like legends in this specific niche,
Right.
like you've heard of Hazel and Alice.
Oh yeah. Oh,
And
so good.
so, yeah, like women who were kind of early in the bluegrass tradition of like being women in bluegrass. And like, I got to hang with Alice. Like, we talked on Valentine's Day, like on the phone, like we're friends. you
What?
know,
That's amazing.
it is amazing. Like, she's still alive. She's a real person. Like,
Yeah, she's
she
not.
like plays with her dog. So it's just like, and same with there's this guy that we were talking about, Tommy Jarrell, his guitar player that backed him up for years and years. He's still alive. He's 80, like 6 years old. His name's Chester McMillan. Chester lives in the Mount Airy, North Carolina area. And I got to like meet him and hang out and learn how he does his magical guitar stuff. And it's like,
Just
you
pass
know,
it on.
it's priceless.
Yeah,
So,
those interactions are. I mean, people would kill to have that that are in that
they're
department.
living legends.
Right.
So
And
I feel I feel really fortunate that I got to, meet those folks and so many others too that are out doing stuff that might not be like super on the radar. They're not maybe popular or super like famous on Instagram or anything like that, but they're like solid, like steeped in the tradition musicians.
yeah,
So,
right. Yeah, I think I made a post like on my Instagram and I hashtagged Hazel. There's like maybe 20 people in all of the world that's ever hashtagged her. You know,
wow.
it's like, man, these people are like so huge and iconic,
But
and
it's just kind of a
just
different
not, yeah,
audience.
right. But
Right.
still, I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's kind of a fun thing, like what you're doing or other roots musicians. Like I know you had Christina Vane on, and she's like does so well on Instagram, but
Yeah,
yet she is like a roots musician. She's studied. She's legit, and it's fun when people studying older styles of music or art can find a way to translate that to newer mediums like social media. I mean,
right.
that sounds so
Yeah,
simple, but I think it's challenging to do sometimes to bring it into more of like the mainstream or the floodlight.
yeah. She was great to have on the show and talk to. She's
Yeah,
a go getter for sure. Um,
totally.
have you looked much into Willie Carlisle stuff? You got to go there. Obviously, you'll be playing a show with him. I
That's
think.
what I saw on your fancy poster.
Were
Yes,
you?
look at that.
Oh, okay.
Incredible poster work. Yep.
Hey, I'm proud of it.
That's
I'm
so
gonna look.
great.
One sort of framed over here, but
Nice.
he
Yeah,
is.
no, I need to listen to all those guys.
Yeah, you'll dig them all in their own little way. But like Willie, he is just a folk master. Plays the bones, harmonica, banjo, guitar, and he's a storyteller. He can write very well. Great storyteller, and yeah, everyone says it's more like it's like an experience when you see him. It's like very theatrical,
Okay.
not just like you're hearing a bunch of music. But yeah, yeah, I think you're gonna love him. It's right up in your wheelhouse for sure.
That's
So
fun.
it'll be fun. And Vaden Landers, he's in Bristol. He's gonna drive up, and he does. He's the closest guy I've heard that can do the break in his voice to where he almost kind of sounds like Hank Senior,
Okay.
and he yodels. So he's got the Jimmy Rogers feel mixed into it, very vintage. He's really good.
Well,
Todd
Bristol, I
Dayway,
mean, that's such a music mecca. So, that's
yes, yeah,
cool.
yeah, he's making the rounds down there. He he plays the uh, Rhythm and Roots Festival there in Bristol. Have you played that?
No, it's been on my list of places to go forever.
Oh, okay, I might go this year. If it works out schedule wise. In fact, Vaden's like, you can stay at my house. Oh,
Nice.
cool. Yeah, it's a very diverse show. Then you got Todd Dayway. He's more honky tonk. He'll throw in some folk song. He likes Roger Miller. I told him
Nice.
that I'd go on stage and do a dang me with him on stage if
Oh
he
my
wants to.
gosh.
Then
Uh-oh, my
uh
kiddo's crying.
oh, you need to go
Yeah.
check on that.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back.
But yeah, I think it's amazing you're putting that show on in October, and I can't wait to be back at Radio Radio. I can't remember if I've played there once or twice, but definitely I played there with the Sallies.
Yep,
I remember
I was there at least for
you
one
were
of them.
there. We were supporting Wayne the Train.
Yep, I was there at that one.
Cool.
Yep.
He definitely offered me a dirty joint backstage. It was gross.
And see, I was at the White Rabbit, and he offered me the same at the White Rabbit.
Oh, there you go. It must be his thing. It's
Yeah,
like,
he's still
no,
out there getting it.
that's crazy.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, funny guy. And his
anyway,
show
what?
never stopped. Like he was supposed to end at 10 and it was like 11. He was still going.
He's a madman.
But
Well,
yeah,
before
so
we
we're going
sign
to have a
off,
blast at Radio Radio.
yeah, we're one last plug in before we sign off here. Where should people be following you? You at a website, Patreon,
Yeah,
obviously.
the website is alliejeanmusic.com. The Patreon is patreon.com/ Allie Jean Music, I think. Instagram, etc. I am
You're
kind
not a
of
tweeter, are you?
no, I
Me
never
either.
have got. I don't understand Twitter, but some of my stuff says music with Allie, and some of it says Allie Jean Music. So I'm kind of gotta rebrand a little bit.
Google it; they'll find you.
Yeah, they'll find me. AllieJeanMusic.com is the website. So
Perfect.
yep.
All right. Well, nice. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you. See you next week. Yeah, next Wednesday. I'll
Good
come hang
deal.
out, see the show.
All right. Catch you later.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.